Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it.
I did not believe for the longest time it was a deliberate dumbing down. I thought the dumbing down was a natural consequence of a bad idea. Folks, it's deliberate. It's deliberate.
Probably don't want to admit it. Object 11, secure and coordinated manner. 27. We commit to manage our national borders in a coordinated manner, promoting bilateral and regional cooperation, ensuring security for states, communities and migrants, and facilitating safe and regular cross-border movements of people while preventing irregular migration. We further commit to implement border management policies that respect national sovereignty. Are they having a laugh? The rule of law. Are they having a laugh? Obligations under international law. Human rights of all migrants, regardless of their migration status, and are non-discriminatory, gender responsive, and child sensitive. So you've got to take it. You've got to take it. You can't question it. There's even laws here to what you would call requirements that will seek it as difficult as possible for any migrant to actually be stopped or searched or almost questioned in any way. What does that sound like to you? Does that sound like the stop and search policy that's been sweeping this nation, that's led to knife crime going through the roof? It's what we know as empowering migrants to the point where they have more civil rights than the actual person who was born, bred and contributed to that country, which will breed anger, which will create a lot of social disharmony, which will empower migrants where they will feel above the law. Your resistance is weakened, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about an immune system that is being overfought and is, because of its bureaucracy, is too weak to fight the actual disease itself. Now, you could talk about the elites again being that disease, and you could talk about the governments, the councils being the immune system that just cannot fight it, or they choose to fall into place with it. And if you didn't believe about the 2030 agenda, also known as Agenda 21, check this out. Section A. Promote the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, including the Sustainable Development Goals and the Addis Ababa Action and Agenda. So there it is, saying it in your face, exactly what it's about. The migration is an implementation in order to fulfill the 2030 Agenda. That's all it's about. And this is what I'm talking about, more protection for migrants and actual people of the said countries. Provide migrants, especially migrant women, with the access to national and regional complaint and redress mechanisms with a view to promoting accountability and addressing governmental actions related to discriminatory acts and manifestations carried out against migrants and their families. Now, it'd be lovely if it said underneath that, and also have the same mechanisms for indigenous populations of whatever said country that feel that they need to redress the social issues that is now starting to occur because of this migrational flow. But it doesn't. It's almost saying, you've got to deal with it, you've got to get over it, and if you don't get over it, we're going to tie you with this brush that under political correctness will make you stand down and watch this happen underneath your nose, in front of your eyes. That's all it says to me. I mean, these elites, they don't even distinguish faiths, in a sense that they're talking about just people, literally people. So there's no faith put down on this. This is just a movement of people. I mean, that word, diaspora, if you look that word up, the dispersion or spread of any people from their original homeland. This translates to people of Israel. And it also translates to boat people from Asia. It's not picking on any faith. It's using all types of faiths because it's all about numbers. These guys don't really give a shit where they move people from. I mean, the bonus probably is the moving people that are so far incompatible with what Western civilization is all about. It's a win-win, because then that creates a chaos to get the rioting going even more, to get that level of low vibration rolling even more, to get that anger up high, and to get people reacting instead of intelligently thinking about what's going on.
And the Compact aims at providing states and communities with the tools to maximize, to create those opportunities. So forgive if I sound a little bit enthusiastic today, but it's a good day. It's a good day for somebody like me and my colleagues who've worked on this for a long time and who now see, amidst so many worries and concern, a way forward with light to aim for. Thank you.
And why it's going on, and all the players that are truly facilitating it right at the top. Because don't forget, the people that will be writing these papers, these will be getting their orders from other people or entities, however way you want to look at it. See, we all know with this, in order for this to work, they need to keep the populations of the world as dumbed down as possible, as ignorant as possible, as in the dark as possible. It's a big club and we're not in it. That is the way that these guys are rolling against humanity. At what point is humanity going to wake up against these guys? That's what needs to happen, but we need to consciously wake up. Otherwise, it will be too late. Our children are going to have to live under this. What do you think the world's going to look like in 2030 if these guys get their way, ratifying all these non-legally binding treaties between themselves, knowing that they've got the life of Riley, as it were, they've got the nice gated communities, they've got the money, they've got the facilities, and if the shit hits the fan, they've got the private helicopters and the jets that can get them out of here pretty quickly, which is going to leave concrete jungles full of massively populated people of all demographics, of all sects, of all tribalistic mentalities fighting between one another.
I went there and looked at those things and said, now, hold on a minute. Today's population is 6 billion. They want to maintain humanity under 1/2 billion. Looks like a lot of people got to die for their plan to work, which is, by the way, the plan. As Jacques Cousteau said, we'd have to eliminate 350,000 people a day. 1/3 of a million people a day would have to be eliminated to save Mother Earth. Now, Bill Clinton said we need to reduce the population of the Earth to 1 billion. There are a lot of folks who would like to reduce the population of the Earth.
Aleister Crowley taught that a global massacre would be necessary to bring about the New Age. He wrote, "There is a magical operation of maximum importance, the initiation of a new eon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood. Before man is ready to accept the law of Thelema, or will, the great war must be fought. This bloody sacrifice is the critical point of the world ceremony of the crowned and conquering child as Lord of the Eon. This initiation takes place to remove Christians, who are considered the primary obstacle to world unity under Antichrist. A magazine called the Omega Letter says that there is only one obstacle to world unity: Christianity. It goes on to say that Christianity claims supernatural knowledge and divine revelation, and therefore should not be tolerated. Gus Hall, the former leader of the Communist Party in America, said, "I dream of a time when the last congressman is strangled to death on the guts of the last preacher. And since the Christians love to sing about the blood, why not give them a little of it?" A New Age group calling itself Solar Questers writes, "These are wondrous times because the world has gone through this terrific experience as it spins slowly back to its rightful orbit in the position that it should be in the heavens. And as this happens, more and more comfort and well-being will come upon this world, and those who hinder will be removed, liquidated. They must be wiped clean off the face of the earth."